Assembly Concurrent Resolution 195 by Assemblymember Low and others relative to the Vietnamese heritage and freedom flag.
Assemblymember Low, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and colleagues, for allowing me to present Assembly Concurrent Resolution 195, recognizing Vietnamese heritage and the freedom flag. It's, of course, with great distinction and honor as the chair of the California Asian Pacific Islander Legislative Caucus that I join in my colleagues of Vietnamese descent too, including that of Stephanie Nguyen, the first Democratic Vietnamese woman to be elected in state history, as well as my colleague, Mr. Ta from Orange County. Major populations are also represented by incredible champions like my other colleague from San Jose, Assemblymember Kalra. I'm honored to introduce this resolution to recognize Vietnamese heritage and the freedom flag for our Vietnamese American community. After the fall of Saigon on April 30th in 1975, more than 1 million refugees and immigrants from the former Republic of Vietnam immigrated to the United States. The state of California has been home to many, which is nearly...
My apologies, Mr. Low. Members, please, your attention to Mr. Low.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The state of California has become home to nearly 1 million Vietnamese American residents, and we are so proud to welcome them in these communities. Again, these major metropolitan areas of Orange County, as well as the beautiful city of San Jose. With bipartisan support, we in the Assembly and Senate recognize the important contributions of the Vietnamese American community and formally recognize the Vietnamese heritage and freedom flag, which is a symbol of freedom for the Vietnamese American community that resides in our beautiful state of California, the United States, and beyond. And again, recognizing the importance of this day and effort, this is also the reflection and the embodiment and symbolism of freedom. And I want to also thank our colleague, Senator Nguyen, for also gifting this to me as well, to be able to show and demonstrate this. I respectfully ask for bipartisan support, and I vote on ACR 195.
Thank you, Assemblymember Low. Assemblymember Ta, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I'm here to support ACR 195, which honor the anniversary of the Fall of Saigon on April 30th, 1975, and honor the Vietnamese heritage and freedom flag as the identity of the Vietnamese American community. The South Vietnamese flag means so much more for me and my Vietnamese community who lost our home. And when I and my and hundreds of thousands of my Vietnamese fellow left our country and came to this great state of California, the South Vietnamese flag stands for freedom and democracy. And as you are aware that 49 years after the Fall of Saigon, the Vietnamese overseas, we continue to fight for freedom and human rights for Vietnam. That's the reason that I have the South Vietnamese flag on my desk since my first day of being here. So I truly, truly appreciate Mr. Low from San Jose for introducing this resolution. That means a lot to the Vietnamese overseas around the world. And I respectfully ask for your aye vote because this resolution is really, really important for the Vietnamese American. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ta. Mr. Kalra, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I rise in support of ACR 195, which recognizes the Vietnamese heritage and freedom flag as a symbol of the Vietnamese community's resilience and continued struggle for freedom. I want to thank my colleague from San Jose for bringing this forward. And as he mentioned, California is home to one of the most vibrant and outstanding Vietnamese communities around the world. And I'm proud to represent Little Saigon in San Jose. San Jose, which is a city that has the largest Vietnamese population of any single city outside of Vietnam. Many Vietnamese Americans have embraced the Vietnamese heritage and freedom flag as a representation of their heritage and to honor their rich culture and history, but also to honor their resilience, perseverance, and continued fight for freedom. In supporting ACR 195, we show our solidarity with the Vietnamese community in their commitment to the principles of democracy, justice, and the protection and advancement of human rights. So when you go, whether it's San Jose or Orange County, or even here in Sacramento, whether it's a Vietnamese event or a Vietnamese restaurant, you will oftentimes see this symbol, see this flag. And I hope you have a better understanding of why it's so important to the Vietnamese community to continue to raise this flag, to continue to honor it. And I'm proud of the fact that here in California, we have the opportunity to stand up and stand in solidarity with our Vietnamese community in honoring the Vietnamese heritage and freedom flag. Respectfully ask for your aye vote on ACR 195.
Thank you, Mr. Kalra. Mr. Jim Patterson, you are recognized.
Thank you, members and Speaker. I noticed that 1 million Vietnamese came to the United States. One of those 1 million was a little 18-month-old Vietnamese child who was found on the side of the road in April of 1975 when our forces were evacuating and Saigon was falling. Those two American GIs stopped their own evacuation to pick this little guy up and take him to a Catholic orphanage. He was cared for there for several weeks, and then President Ford sent the C-5As over for the baby lift. And BJ was on the very first flight. That first flight crashed. He survived that, put on another flight, flown to the United States. I have a flagpole in my front yard. I fly the American flag there regularly. Today, that flagpole also has the Vietnamese freedom flag flying from a boy. He is such a fresh reminder of what it means to be free and in the United States. He's a plumbing contractor. He's 52 years old, married to an accountant. Everybody needs a plumber and an accountant in their family, right? That's a good thing. But he will remind me often, he'll say, Dad, if those GIs hadn't picked me up, if that Catholic orphanage hadn't cared for me, if President Ford hadn't sent the C-5As, and if you and Mom hadn't adopted, I'd be in a communist country, probably behind a water buffalo, in a rice paddy. But I'm in America. I own my own home. I have my own business. I'm free. And I'm grateful. And so I live as a dad. I guess I'm the only member of the Vietnamese Father Caucus. Anybody? I don't know about that. But all I'm saying is his entrance into our lives really did change our lives so substantially, because we had been married 10 years, fertility issues, our 3 kids are now all adopted. But BJ opened that door, and that led to Jason, a county baby, and to Lindsay, a private adoption. And so I join with my colleagues here, and first and foremost, reiterating our welcome and gratitude and appreciation for the Vietnamese people in our midst who are now our friends and colleagues, co-workers and all. The Vietnamese community in Fresno increasingly is taking leadership roles in business and education, in the law. We now have third-generation Vietnamese valedictorians, straight-A students. And it's a joy to stand here to recognize the freedom flag. But you know something else? there's another freedom flag flying at my house, and it's the Stars and Stripes. And so we're together on this. Freedom here, and freedom for BJ, my Vietnamese boy, but also freedom for everybody. That's the great gift of being in the United States, and BJ recognizes it, loves his adopted country, and is one of the most patriotic young men I have the privilege to know. So I rise in support, not just on behalf of Sharon and the family and all of that, but
30 seconds.
for my boy. This one's for BJ. You got here, you're free, own business, own a home, and you're American. And so I'm joining with everybody in saluting our Vietnamese friends, family members, and also reminding ourselves that, yes, we support freedom for our Vietnamese folks, but let's not forget, the originator of the freedom flag is the Stars and Stripes.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson.
Thank you, and I ask for your support on this.
Assemblymember Nguyen, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this flag was first adopted in 1948. And after the fall of Saigon in 1975, this flag still remains with us today as a symbol of hope against the resistance of oppression. And that this flag here symbolizes the fact that we continue to have hope, hope for our community and hope for our people. The gold represents the unity of the Vietnamese people. The three red horizontal lines represent the north, south, and central regions of Vietnam. If you were to Google the Vietnamese flag right now, or look it up on the internet, this isn't what you see. But this is the only flag that I know. This is the only flag that my children will know. And this is the only flag that I ask each and every single one of you to not only recognize, but educate the community that this is our flag. This is our freedom flag. And we will continue to fight for our community, for our country, and for our people. I want to thank my colleagues for speaking today, but more than anything, I want to thank my colleague from Sacramento, Assemblymember Kevin McCarty, because he did something really significant here in Sacramento. A historical moment for us when we dedicated South Sacramento, where many of the Vietnamese refugees who fled during the fall of Saigon now reside, where my family reside, where I grew up, became Little Saigon District. And we proudly display this flag right here. And what an honor it is for me to now be able to be the representative for that district. I want to thank Assemblymember Low for carrying this, and for everybody on this floor here. I ask not only for your vote, but I ask you to continue to help us in honoring and recognizing this flag, because it takes more than just us. It takes each and every single one of you going back to your district to say, this is the flag of the Vietnamese people. This is the flag that they want. This is the flag that they recognize, and this is the flag that should be displayed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Nguyen. Assemblymember Low, would you like to close?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I thank those who spoke in recognition of the reflection of what the flag means, that it is that of the United States and the state of California that so many have fought for, marched for, been jailed for, and died for, the values and principles of freedom that we enjoy here today. And so this provides an opportunity for us to reaffirm our commitment in a bipartisan fashion to that of democracy, love and inclusion, and the work that we have ahead of us. I respectfully ask for a vote on ACR 195.
And Mr. Lowe, would you like the first roll open for co-authors?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lowe. With that, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote as a co-author. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. There are 58 co-authors added. Without objection, we'll take a voice vote on the resolution. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.